I am Shadowfax, and this is the March 2023 update. Hello and welcome to all listeners, both new and old alike. This is the latest news about your favorite game, Alter Aeon. It is my sincerest hope that players were able to enjoy last month's Love is a Battlefield event. I am pleased to see that we had good participation. I know our game isn't really centered around PK, but I saw no harm in encouraging players to at least have a little taste of it. For the event, we added a team option for player arenas that randomly assigns players joining an arena to one of two teams. Another big change implemented last month is how movement is handled. Running out of movement while just walking around seems to have been a long-standing issue that would occasionally crop up in the newbie islands when players are low level and don't have a lot of movement to work with. So, instead of big rooms costing twice the movement of small rooms now cost roughly half the movement of big rooms. For example, a big rock terrain room costs 8 movement to move through, while a small rock terrain room now costs 4. Another related change was giving low-level players that do not have the sneak skill but accidentally turn it on occasional warnings when moving about. Sneaking increases the amount of movement it takes to move around, and we don't want newbies experiencing that sort of handicap. Sleeping by a campfire will shorten the time it takes to get sharp. Jobs will no longer send high-level players to low-level extraplanar areas. The shield spell is now called Force Shield to avoid issues with scribing scrolls or other naming conflicts. This also brings it in line with the other shield spells. New channel cast runes for mages, Char, Siru, Faru, Nar, Pill, Erst, Zeki, Enti, Dun, Zix, and Mar. That was a mouthful. I think Drock just wanted to hear me say all those in a row. Anyway, you can see what all those new runes do by using the Rune List command. The Dun rune that does splash damage looks particularly interesting to me. Also, channel casting now costs exactly 2 more mana. There were tweaks to warrior and thief skills to make debuffs more meaningful. The survey mining message for custom mineral deposits will now give some idea of how likely you are to find that mineral. The message for plucking multiple feathers from a corpse has been condensed into one line. There are new leather-crafted items, the cestus and the harness. There is a new forged held jewelry, the scepter. And there is a new forged simple weapon, the thresher. Wood-crafted canes are no longer type weapon and will not be given high die rolls. There were too many composite issues to properly balance them, and many ended up with disappointing results. Hopefully, this refactoring will make them more useful as held objects. Different forged helmets now have more diverse effects. Spirit hammers can now be cast with a poison extended damage type. Poison has been available to gods as a preferred element for a while now, so it just makes sense. Also, Soul Steel has a greater chance of being successful if the target is mortally wounded. I have been finding, as I'm sure many of you did, that if you have Necromancer as a 5th or 6th class, that it has been virtually impossible to catch souls from ordinary experience level mobs, which are usually 2 or 3 levels below your primary level. This change doesn't quite restore the old method of 100% success against a mortally wounded target, but it certainly helps. There are some upcoming changes. More channel casting runes are to come. The more, the merrier. Morpheus will be running a spring event the last weekend of March. He's still contemplating exactly what it will be, but we could probably expect elements from previous St. Patrick's Day events and a possible return of Honey Buddy. Drock's latest area, the Palace of the Dragon Emperor, Gardens, and Keep, is very near completion. It will open alongside the spring event. Some of you may have noticed some updates to the island of Slowy. New content has been added to Pelham, Bemarkin, Stillwater, and the Greenwood. Expect to see more updates around Slowy in upcoming days. These are being made in preparation for the reintroduction of the Summer Solstice 2021 event areas as regular zones. Right now I'm shooting for an April release. My next coding project will be implementing the hunting skill. Yes, for real this time. Drock and I have already laid some groundwork for the skill last year, and I know my brother has been chomping at the bit for me to finish my part so he can add it to the Rangers Guild. I believe the current plan is to wed hunting with the butchering skill and have it be the entry-level skill for the guild. Since the May Day event is on hiatus, plans are also in the works for a recurring May event centered around Mother's Day.
That concludes this monthly update. Please like the video and subscribe for more monthly presentations. You can also follow us on Facebook or Twitter for event reminders and reboot notifications. To support our game, you can visit www.alteraeon.com/donate, or you could shop online at our store at www.cafepress.com/alteraeon. We hope to see you and your friends soon on Alteraeon, where every day is an adventure. Thanks for listening and happy mudding, everyone!
Alteraeon.com. That's ALTERAEON.com.